Ademola Lookman, Nigerian international, has deleted everything that connects him to Atalanta on his IG profile because they have rejected yet another offer from Inter Milan. I think the offer was about 43 million euros guaranteed and 5 million euros in add-ons. So he's angry, he's upset, he wants to leave. He feels like Atalanta are pricing him out of a move, to Inter Milan. And of course, Inter Milan, they have other interests as well. They have interest in the Chelsea forward Nkunku. And to make matters even worse, Inter have gone on to sign another Nigerian eligible player in Richie Agbanifo. He is 19 years old and he can play on either wing or as a supporting striker. So when you see such moves being made as a player, you start saying, really, do I really want to be here and let this move pass me by? I think he really wants to go to Inter Milan because he doesn't need that much time to acclimatize. And let's face it, he just has 1 full year with Atalanta. So why would they be demanding way more than 43 million euros guarantees? Probably what they are looking for is 50 million euros. So, and they've already signed Karl Martin. They've already signed his replacement. So for me, I think, why are they keeping him? Why don't you just let him go? Let him go. You're getting good money for him, given the length he still has remaining on his contract, which is not that much. I think that's a year and a bit. So 1 full season left, and that's the season, and that will be done. So you should be letting him go. I don't know your personal opinions on this one, Nigerian football fans. What do you think about Ademola Lookman? Do you think he's taking the right steps? I think he has to do what he has to do to leave the club. I'd never like to see players fall out with clubs, but sometimes you see these clubs, they want to always make the player look like the bad guy, look like the bad person, look like the person that doesn't appreciate the fans, or doesn't appreciate the club. So the fans sort of fall out with the player as well. There's some tactics they like to do for whatever reason. He's been a good servant for the club. Why not just let him go, in my opinion? So let me know this opinion on Ademola Lookman. And then, of course, we have to talk about Benjamin Sesko. Newcastle United have made a bid for the Slovenian forward. It amounts to 80 million euros. Currently 80 million euros. So that's 75 million euros guaranteed and 5 million euros in add-ons, performance-related add-ons. So for me, I think that's a good move by Newcastle United. And Manchester United are still talking to RB Leipzig. They're also still talking with the player. But just like Kemi Badenoch, he hasn't identified with either of them. So that's where they find themselves right now. But for me, I think RB Leipzig, they're being smart, pitting Newcastle United versus Manchester United, trying to instigate a bidding war that probably would maybe see him go for 95 million euros, because that seems to be the going rate for forwards from the German Bundesliga. And then what does this mean for Isak? This means if this deal is done in favor of Newcastle United, I think Liverpool would get Isak. And so I think Newcastle United were saying they were a bit shocked to see that it was 110 million euros or 110 million pounds offer as opposed to the 120 million pounds offer that we were anticipating from Liverpool. But I think Liverpool are trying to play smart and lowball Newcastle United a bit. Imagine saying 110 million pounds is lowballing, but that's where we find ourselves right now. And it seems Isak would be returning back to Newcastle United to be part of training or so, but I think he's missed the tour of Asia. But then the question is, how would his teammates receive him back and how he's acted? How would Eddie Howe still look at him, and would he be 100% focused? Because when you throw your toys out of the pram as a player, that means your head has well and truly been turned from the club. So let me know what you think about the whole Sesko, Newcastle United and Manchester United and Liverpool on the other side of it. What do you think about the whole business? Now we talk about a player that at Chelsea, I really hope that he would make it at Chelsea, but sometimes that's how life is. He has unfortunately been beset by injuries and changing of managers, and some managers don't, didn't really see his ability. I think someone like Graham Potter is someone that I think has to be held accountable. Because in football, it's funny when it's certain coaches like your Contes, your Mourinho's, people look at them and say, oh, these coaches, they don't like giving young players opportunities to play. But when it's some sort of sexy coaches, that sort of play supposedly sweet flowing football, like your Potters, your Pochettinos, people sort of ignore what they also do to young players as well. So, and then he went on loan to Everton. He just knew he was not going to play. It was clear as day that he was not going to play, so that was a bad loan. I think that was a loan that wasn't really thought out rightly, by the club. So he went there, injuries, and then Sean Dyche just wasn't going to play him. So he returns back to Chelsea and heading off to Burnley, hopefully. But the thing that is supposedly meant to be undisclosed. We're hearing reports that it's about £20 million. Some other people are saying £25 million. Whilst some people are coming out to say it's undisclosed. I wonder why was all the mystery, around the transfer fee for. Is it secretly £100 million and no one wants to talk about it? But that's a different discussion for another day. But overall, happy he's made that move. And then Estevao Willian heading to Chelsea pretty soon. So he's, come up to say he's excited, expressed excitement to join Chelsea. That's nice to hear. Positive remarks coming from the player. And a couple of things I found out about the player makes me really like the player even more. But let's see what he comes to do and deliver at Chelsea. And then talking about players deleting profiles and deleting pictures and things from their Instagram profiles. Xavi Simons has gone and done that as well because he thinks RB Leipzig are dragging things a bit too long. And so, if you're a Chelsea fan, how you feel about the Xavi Simons deal? Do you think it's a deal that will still be done? For me, I feel if Chelsea want to get it done, you best get Xavi Simons signed up, get the deal agreed, because I have a feeling that when either Xavi Simons or Benjamin Sesko gets sold, the transfer for the other player would become exceedingly more complicated than it would ordinarily be. Because I think the club would say, now we have the money that we need in our coffers. We have Champions League football, so we're not in so much of a mad rush to sell anybody, and then it becomes a whole lot difficult. And the value of the player, I think, they increase by maybe 1 or 2x. So let's see how all that shakes down. Let me listen to thoughts and opinions on this transfer news we've talked about. What do you think about Ademola Lookman? Proposed move to Inter Milan. Do you still think that move would come to fruition? Think about Sesko. Do you think he would actually be successful in the Premier League? Physically, he's got everything to be successful. He's got pace. He's got height. He's 6 foot plus, 6 foot 5, to be precise. So he's got everything it takes to succeed from a physical standpoint. Now, from a mentality standpoint, let's see. From a pedigree standpoint, he hasn't shown that much, but he has, all the physical attributes to really be successful in the Premier League. So let's see how that shakes down. But for now, come to the end of this video, and I'll see you on yet another video. Stay well, stay blessed.